Okay, we left off on reflex arc. Um, so the reflex arc, the differences are that the neural pathway travels only to the spinal cord instead of going all the way up to the brain, because that's a shorter distance from your finger to the spinal cord. Here is a shorter distance, so it saves time. And that also explains why in reflexes there's no thought or decision involved. You don't decide to remove your hand from that burning sensation. You do it reflexively. It's automatic, no thought or decision. The second thing that makes it a reflex is it has only one interneuron, or sometimes there are no interneurons for some reflex arc. So you look here, this little red thing is the interneuron, and it's very, very short and brief and just one of them. So that makes, the whole pathway from the sensation, to the motor command to remove your finger. It makes the whole pathway really fast because it doesn't have to spend time connecting to all different parts of your brain with many interneurons. Okay, so this is a reflex arc where the same thing is happening. Here's the motor neuron, and it shows that there's no interneuron here. That actually this sensory neuron connects immediately to a motor neuron, right? So remember, afferent and sensory are synonyms, efferent and motor are synonyms, and they're connecting only in the spinal cord. Okay, another picture of the same thing. You can pause that and read the text if you like. And I think this note has already been explained. It does not pass through the brain, and therefore you don't decide upon it. In fact, in some ways, you're not even aware of that you're doing it until you seem to almost watch yourself perform your reflex because it hasn't gone through your brain. That's why you're not aware of it. All right, let's change topics. We're going to very, very briefly go through the autonomic nervous system, which involves the motor nerves that are not voluntary. And I'm going to just do a quick overview of that. There's this big distinction, the parasympathetic and the sympathetic. And it's about whether something is stimulated or put at rest. For example, the parasympathetic slows heart rate, the sympathetic accelerates heart rate. But we are not going to worry about that decision. We're just going to say autonomic controls heart rate. End of story. Okay, so don't worry about this left or right. Recognize these terms, but you need not know the distinction. So real quick summary of the autonomic nervous system shows that the constriction or dilation of pupils is controlled by the autonomic. Salivary glands, salivary secretions, controlled by autonomic. Heart rate, breathing rate is controlled by autonomic. The stimulation of digestion, and this is a really big one. It includes all the smooth muscles stimulating peristalsis and all the secretions of the digestive system. The stimulation of the gallbladder and its secretions. This represents the urinary bladder. I know that seems weird, but urination actually is kind of like breathing. Some aspects of it are voluntary and some are involuntary. Anyway, and then sex organs. So these are all the organs that in some way are controlled by the autonomic nervous system. And I think that's it. If this picture helps you a little bit more, this is the same idea, just another image of it. And one last comment about autonomic nervous system is, how does your autonomic nervous system know when or how to respond? How does it know what commands to tell? Well, it's receiving sensory information. It senses things that are happening deep inside your body, right? Things that you're not really aware of. And so sometimes these sensations come from receptors, not like smell receptors or taste receptors that we're aware of, but these deep down interoceptors or visceral inside your organ receptors that we're not aware of and we don't see. Okay, so these are all the receptors in your organs and internal to your body that you're not aware of. Or sometimes you're aware of them, but you feel, pain in your organs or something else going on deep inside of you. So this here is kind of an example, which is famous. This is a receptor in a blood vessel that senses blood oxygen levels and blood pressure so that you can respond to that. Your autonomic nervous system knows how to respond to that. Okay, sorry if that was too long. I'll have to learn to be more concise. I'm really impressed with how quiet and cooperative you girls were. Nobody interrupted with chatting or silliness. All right. I send you my love. I hope you use your time well, and take advantage of a little bit of time to rest and to be with your families. Be good to your siblings. Be good to your mothers and fathers, and and pray for everybody who's struggling and suffering. All right, take care, girls. Goodbye.